Evening peeps, evening, welcome back to the channel, hope you're all doing alright. Tonight we're back with round 6 of the P1 and their multi-class league, so we've got GR3s and GR4s on track tonight in Pro and Pro-Am class if you like. So the Pro-Am's running the GT4s or the GR4s, the slightly slower, slightly less aerodynamic motors, the GT3s being the more powerful, more aero versions of the same cars. So that was what we've got. We've got 10-minute qualifying, which we're just a little bit delayed. We're waiting for a driver to turn up. But we've got 10-minute qualifying, which is, like I say, delayed while we wait for a driver to turn up. We've got two 20-minute races following that qualifying. Points-wise, so the pros in the GT3s, Obi-Wan leading the way with 95 points. We've got Mocking Week second with 70 points. Rob S in third with 48 points. P1 Don fourth with 46 points. Fifth for Manny with 34 points. Marshall in sixth with 23 points. No points on the board for Dizzy, unfortunately. Pro-Ams, we've got Apache leading the way in the slightly slower cars with 100 points. Tyre Slayer with 69 points in second. Raffo third with 51 points. Pilgrim fourth with 41 points. Ricky J in fifth with 31 points. Dodger sixth with 19 points. And Skippy with 10 points. That rounds up the Pro-Ams. And team-wise, so the one GT3, one GT4, NPC are joint first with the Cunny Funts, both with 146 points. Team Miyagi in third, then with 103 points. Steptoe and Kun with 89 points in fourth. Contendo in fifth with 58 points. We've got the Yorkshire Teabaggers with 54 points in sixth. And Dizzy got murked, 41 points on the board. That is points up until now. Merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers. Not many t-shirts left, but plenty of stickers. Hit me up at darksmoker@googlemail.com if you want any of those. Right, into this lobby then. Again, I think we're just waiting for Ricky. But we've got Obi in the house. We've got Raffo, Manny, Marshall, Apache, Mockin, Tyre Slayer, Rob S, Pilgrim, and the Dodger. I think we're just waiting for two drivers actually now. Let's have a look who's out on track. Straight away, chaos. Thought we might have seen a bit of a lap by somebody, but no. Instead, we're seeing a Porsche go sideways. Let's turn the old volume on for you lot so you can hear these things. Do forget. Manny burning his tyres out before the race or the qualifying starts. He's got his horn on as well. It's not giving me horn inside the car, but it does give me horn outside the car. It's a bit bizarre. Apache's just come through and taken out Manny. Manny's getting payback. Rob S on track in the McLaren. As well. Big wing on the GT3s, smaller wing on the GT4s. Less aero on the front of the GT4s as well. racking himself up all sorts of penalty on this little practice session. Ricky J is in the house. I've just seen him leave the pits. There he is. So how many have we got in now? Just 11. Not sure if we're waiting for one more. Grass, Raffo, that's not the line. Let's see if Raffo gets through the start finish. He might do as a lap, let's have a look. Or he might just be aiming for people. There's a few in the pits, there's several going the wrong direction down at the first chicane. So down the start finish straight then. If Raffo gives us the honour of a full lap, we'll see. Down towards turn 1, hard on the brakes. Trying not to catch too much of those sausage curbs. He gets sent anyway. There you go. It was never going to be clean, was it? It was never going to be clean. Now, do we get a lap finished off? No, we get sent again by Rob S. Alright, looks like we might have to wait till qualifying then, starting right about now by the looks of it. Drivers on track then. Pit lane opens, the cars start peeling their way out. Alright, we'll stick on board with Mr. Slayer. See if he does us a lap. Down towards turn 1, everyone. Oh, Apache. Oh no, that's Pilgrim. It's gone deep into turn 1 already. Through that chicane then. Up towards Curva Grande. Nissan's Skyline, or the GTR as it is commonly known, the GT3 version of the Nissan. Down to the second of the chicanes on circuit. Ooh, Ricky gets a little bit wobbly on the way through there. It is only out laps. Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 coming up. Easy to run wide on that one. A little bit sideways. Tyre Slayer then allows Pilgrim to go through. People sending each other on the outlaps. Almost taking far too much of that corner for Tyre Slayer, and again binned it. What are you doing, Tyre Slayer? Through that final chicane then, down onto the back straight. Just parabolica to go. Someone else off track here. What is going on? Restart qualifying. Okay, we're waiting. Okay. We're going to have a little restart for this quali then. Let's kick ourselves out. Yeah, we were waiting for Don as well. We'd got Ricky J in the room, but Don late started. We were only on outlap, so it shouldn't be too bad. Is that it? Everyone out? What? Raffo's just left. What's going on? Obi-Wan's left. Oh, don't tell me. What? You have to quit. Are we able to leave the room? Have we able to leave the room and come back? Yes, we have. Lobby host just saying he's frozen out of his own lobby. Can't reset it. It's not you, D-Dot. As much as we love you. Still getting issues with these PlayStation lobbies then. It's a bit of a shame, really. It's been going on far too long. Come on. There we go. So we'll jump straight into qualifying now then, once everyone's back in the room. Come on, boys, get in. Let's have this race up and running. Three more, I think. Or is it? Well, it's one more. It's one more we're waiting for. Oh no, one of those is me. So we are waiting for two more. Is it? Yep, that's all drivers in now then. Let's get qualifying underway. Manny on the send. Rob S is not having it. He sent Manny. Manny's messed himself up. He's going to pin him. He's going to pin him. Oh no, he's not. Oh, he doesn't get the opportunity. That's right, tell your mates. Pit lane opens again then. Try. Now everyone's in the room. Qualifying kicks off now then. Out laps to go. So let's see this time if we get a full lap. We were only a corner out of it. Rob S just staying out of the way. Maybe one behind him. Oh, we want to chase cam, didn't we? Let's have chase cam again. Come on. Through Curva Grande. We'd seen this one. Chicanes. Hopefully we don't see too much chaos through there. If you get that one wrong, you can end up pretty airborne, as we've seen in previous races here through the Lesmos. On to the AstroTurf. Got to be careful of the AstroTurf on the outside of these circuits. Not running wide through there. To the Ascari straight then. Obi-Wan picked up some dirty tyres as well on the way through that corner. Ascari chicane coming up then. Hard on the brakes. Catching the apex. Yeah, still got slightly wobbly lobbies, as you can see, as these drivers go around the corner. They're not quite fully planted. So back straight. Just parabolica to go then. Catching the apex and it run out wide on the exit again. Just got to be careful of that AstroTurf. Shouldn't be too bad today. Weather looks all right. And down towards start finish line again then. Right, so there is a lap on board with Rob S. Go and start looking at the front runners. Patchy then, first man out on track. Too long for qualifying. We're already 2.5 minutes in. Getting great big sausage curbs here at Monza. It's been very planted, the Porsche, this season. See if Apache can make good use of it here at Monza tonight. You will see big breaks, obviously, between the GT3s and the GT4 packs. Hopefully we don't see too much spread out between the groups, and we can get a bit of decent racing going on. Some drivers late leaving the pits, actually. Back straight for Apache, then into Parabolica. Let's start to see these lap times coming in. 48.5 on his out lap. Let's see what his first hot lap is. 1:49.9 for him. He's on provisional pole. Raffo 1:51.1. Mocking Weeks. Oh, Dodger actually slots himself into third. 1:52.5. Ricky J comes through to take fourth in the Mustang. 1:57.9. Drivers getting pushed down. Most drivers have pretty much crossed the line. We've got 3 drivers left to cross the line. Let's have a quick look through then. So it is Apache on pole currently. Raffo still on second position. Dodger third. Rob S fourth. No, Pilgrim's decided to screw that one up for me. He's chucked himself into second then. What was his lap time? He was a 1:50.1 in the Mercedes. Raffo gets pushed down to third, then Dodger fourth. Rob S fifth. Manny sixth. Again, these positions will all change. Ricky in seventh. Mocking Weeks in eighth. Don in ninth. Obi-Wan 10th. Marshall in 11th. Marshall now 12th, actually. Tyre Slayer coming through to stick a good pole sitting lap in 1:49.3. Over half a second quicker than Apache's fastest, halfway through qualifying as well. Not clean through turn one, unless it was just glitching. Let's see what he's got at the first time in line, whether he can keep them going purple. This one. Apache unable to go quicker. This lap actually gets taken by Raffo now. 1:49.7 for Raffo. Quarter of a second faster than Apache in the Porsche. Pilgrim fourth now, then being pushed down a couple of positions. Dodger fifth. Rob S in sixth. Weeks in seventh. Manny eighth. J in the pits. I'm not sure what Ricky J is playing at. Soft tyres. Opting for a set of mediums maybe, or a fresh set maybe. Going for a last stint. Let's see what he's on when he exits the pits. Yeah, still on softs. Just wanted that fresh set, I think, for Ricky J. 10th at the minute, Don in 11th and Marshall 12th. Pilgrim now gets a pole sitting lap 1:49.3. He's a rizzle of paper quicker than Tyre Slayer at the minute. 7 minutes into qualifying, 3 left. Nissan, Porsche and the Mercedes all pretty close together in terms of times. And the McLaren of Raffo actually. Apache getting pushed down to fourth then with Pilgrim's pole sitter. Towards the line though for Apache. What's it going to be? He moves up the field again, but only into third. Still got an opportunity. About a quarter of a tank of fuel. Raffo stays fourth, then Dodger fifth. Rob S sixth currently. Manny seventh. Ricky J in. Oh, who's just jumped in that field? P1 Dodger. No, who's just moved people around in that? Pilgrim, Tyre Slayer, Apache, Raffo. Dodger in 5th then in the Porsche. Rob S 6th. Obi-Wan 7th. Mocking Weeks in 8th. Manny in 9th. Ricky J 10th now. Don 11th. Having a good time in the GT3 Mustang then, Ricky J. Struggling to get faster times than some of the GT4 class cars. Marshall, Marshall just actually finding a bit of time there, gets himself 11th, pushes Don down to the back of the pack. What did you get, Marshall? 158.2. Still Pilgrim on pole though. Can Tyre Slayer do anything about it? Not this lap. Got a minute left, so they do get to finish any laps they're on. Last ditch effort now for Tyre Slayer. Last ditch effort now for Apache as well. He's got an opportunity for another lap here. Oh, he gets a pole sitter though. Quarter of a second quicker. 0.3 nearly as faster than Pilgrim. Still got another lap to play with as well, Apache. Tyre Slayer 3rd, then Raffo 4th. So he gets another opportunity. Dodger crosses the line. He gets another opportunity. Best still 6th. Obi-Wan still 7th. Mocking Weeks 8th. Manny in 9th. Ricky J. Come on, Ricky J. Put a good time in. And Parabolica then. Towards the line for Ricky. He does go quicker. Into 5th then. So that is qualifying done, apart from everybody who's still out on track. Apache being one of those. He is still on pole, 149.020, his fastest. Pilgrim, he's finished, so he's got to settle for 2nd. Tyre Slayer, he's still out on track, still pushing. Opportunity here then up to the line. It's not enough, stays 3rd. Raffo is going to stay 4th, I think, unless he can find some amazing time here. It is. Oh no, that's that lap in the bin for Raffo. Ricky J then jumps into 5th right at the end of qualifying. Dodger in the Porsche is 6th. Still out on track actually, pushing. Oh, excuse me. Oh, might have already finished his hot laps actually, I'm not sure. Dodger. Managed to cross the line just at the 10-minute mark. Currently sitting 6th. Let's see if you can better that. Struggled a little bit this season has Dodger. Always stuck with it. That's good to see. He's a long way down on this lap. This one's not going to be any better for him. His current fastest at 152.3. He's already on a 159 2 minutes now. So he's going to stay in 6th then. Obi-Wan leads the GT4s. He's got a 156.5 for him. So he leads the GT4 class. Rob S in 2nd. Mocking Weeks in 3rd in the GT4s. Manny deciding to take him out. He's in 5th. And we had Don and Marshall at the back of that field. Let's just have a look. So Apache taking pole. Pilgrim 2nd. Tyre Slayer 3rd, Raffo 4th, Ricky J 5th, Dodger 6th, Obi-Wan 7th, Rob S in 8th, Mocking Weeks 9th, Manny in 10th, Marshall 12th, and Marshall 11th, and Don in 12th. It was the 2012 that put me off on there, Marshall. Raffo's had to run off for a number 1. So 2 20-minute races. Second race is reverse grid. We do keep the GT3s at the front and the GT4s at the back for the second race, but the packs are reversed. So Raffo's gone for a wee. Everyone's telling the lobby host to start the race while he's not here. That's not very nice. Raffo's back, right. Race 1 of the evening, just about to get underway. Come on. Here it is then, race 1 of the evening. 20 minutes here at Monza. Obi on pole, what? Oh, there you go, Apache on pole, random. Red lights on then, we'll wait for these to drop. Can they all get good starts off the line? The GT3s have a tendency to peel their rear wheels a little bit. It's a good start by Pilgrim though, he's already up to the front of the pack. It's a great start off the line. Tyre Slayer pressuring Apache for that third as well. Tyre Slayer slams into Pilgrim, he gets pushed a bit deep. Ricky J's gone a bit deep as well. Oh my god, this car's all over the place, being reset to track and all sorts. Apache now leads. Gets himself back past Pilgrim in the first chicane. Pilgrim second, Tyre Slayer third, Raffo fourth, Ricky J in fifth, Rob S sixth, Manny seventh, Dodger in eighth, Mocking Weeks ninth, Don in 10th, Obi-Wan in 11th. I think it was Obi-Wan that went off track, he got reset. Marshall in 12th. Chaos already then at the start of this race. Start to pull away. Unfortunately, Dodger, he's stuck behind him one of the GT. Oh, Ricky J goes deep in the background. Gets himself back on circuit, but loses the fight to Raffo in front. Dodger gets his way past them in the GT3 Porsche. On the hunt for the back end of this GT3 field in front. He's got Rob S for toe at the minute. Won't be for long. The GT3's a lot faster than the GT4s. Ricky J slowed down. Not sure if there was contact, and he's just allowed. Yes, he has. I think there was contact between him and Dodger. He allows Dodger to come back. He pushes him down the circuit actually, and then comes back and retakes that position off him. I think, has he? No, Dodger's gone back through. Ricky J sixth. Right, back up front. Gap starting to open up already. Apache 1.1 second lead in the Porsche. Chasing him down. Got Tyre Slayer just 0.6 of a second behind him. Raffo right behind him, 0.8 of a second. Big gap now back to Dodger and Ricky J due to that little bit of a coming together. Have a race between themselves now. They've still got Rob S just hanging on to the back of those two, 1.8 seconds back. He's managed to pull a massive great gap between himself and everybody else in the GT4 class. 2.8 seconds back to Mocking Weeks, second in the GT4s. A bit of a punch up happening behind. We've got Manny under pressure from Don and Obi-Wan. Marshall just Marshall, I was going to say just 2 seconds back. He's managed to pick up a penalty. Chaos has happened around the chicane. Don, Obi and Manny all having a coming together through there. Marshall went, thank you very much, I'll have those 3 places. He's got that half a second penalty to lose. I forget where that is. Is that down this back straight? It is. It's after this chicane, isn't it? Not this chicane, I'm looking at the wrong pack of cars. It's on this straight. Apache then lost a bit of that lead. That's down to 0.7 of a second. Pilgrim getting a bit of a tow down here. Tyre Slayer right behind him. Raffo's fallen off a tiny little bit from the back end of Tyre Slayer. It's about a second developed. Got to be careful, he doesn't want to lose the tow of those top 3. Dodger and Ricky J 6.6 seconds down, the last of the GT3 runners. Dodger in 5th, Ricky J 6th. Rob S then loving the lead at the minute. 2.9 seconds over Mocking Weeks, second in the GT4 class. Gaining time maybe a little bit, Rob. Planted through there for Mocking Weeks, gets a 10th over Rob S again, but Marshall holds that 9th. Obi-Wan, Manny and Don closing him back up, but there's still 3/4 of a second between them at the minute. A little coming together for the back three, just cost them some positions. That lead completely disappeared now then. Apache looking for the lead here. Got his nose up the inside, there's contact between the two. Pilgrim's backed off the throttle, he's allowed Apache to go through. I think that's slowed Tyre Slayer down. He's picked himself up a penalty as well, Tyre Slayer. That's brought Raffo back into this fight. Top four then, still pretty close together. Tyre Slayer will fall off the back of this fight a tiny little bit, but he's had good pace. Still just 2 seconds between the top four. Dodger and Ricky J hanging together. Still just a second between these two as well. Rob S then made a little mistake somewhere. Mocking Weeks has found some time. There's gained a second back on Rob S. Still not within slipstream range yet for Mocking, so he's going to have to drive the life out of that Porsche to close the gap up. Obi-Wan then leading the next pile. He's managed to get himself in front of Marshall. Marshall now a sandwich. He's got Manny looking for the move up the inside into turn one. Is he quick enough? No, he's not. He can't get his nose up the inside. He's on the inside. Don's going to have a look around the outside. Nope. Nobody making their way through there. Oh, Marshall's got it a little bit squirrely on the way out of there. He's managed to hold it together, but it's a little bit backwards. Managed to fend off those two drivers behind him as well at the same time. Fair play, Mr. Marshall. He's under threat now though. Manny literally pushing him around this circuit. He's up the side of him as they come into this second chicane. A little bit of early braking from Marshall, just allowing Manny to go through. He'll race, but he doesn't want to get in anyone's way, so he does sort of pull over and allow these. Oh, he's picked up a penalty as well, Marshall. That's a shame. I think just trying to stay out of the way of Manny through there. It's cost him. Now being harassed by Don in the Porsche. So Apache up front still leads. Got Pilgrim right behind him, 0.6 of a second. Let's get ourselves on board. Not going to be close enough for a move down here is Pilgrim. Tyre Slayer a little bit further back as well. Managed to get that position. Oh no, what's happened to Raffo? Raffo's binned it. Tentative on the throttle there for Pilgrim. Does take a 10th out of Apache's time. Let's just... Raffo has had this thing backwards somewhere. He's now sitting in 6th position behind Ricky J and Dodge. Ricky J's managed to get his way past Dodger as well. He's up into 4th. Dodger 5th, Raffo 6th then. Got it wrong through one of the chicanes, I can pretty much imagine. A lot of work to do. 8 minutes into race 1, 12 minutes left. He's currently at the back of the GT3s. Rob S still leading the GT4s though, 7th position overall. Mocking Weeks behind him in the GT4 Porsche, not being able to close that gap up. He managed to drop it down to 2 seconds, but he's lost half a second again. Obi in 9th. Managed to pull away from Manny. 2.4 seconds the gap between those two. Don is also managed to get his way back past Marshall. Don back into 11th then. Marshall 12th, but hanging right there. Oh, he's got a full second penalty now, Marshall. He's cutting a corner somewhere a little bit too tight. Top three really piling up on each other then. On board with race leader Apache, rear facing cam looking back at Pilgrim. Apache hugging this right hand side of the circuit, holding that inside line. Dizzy looking to run around the outside, carrying the pace. Is it going to be enough into turn one? He's still got his nose up there. Apache has to give him room. Pilgrim goes through, great move. Tyre Slayer had a little look as well, but Pilgrim getting himself up there. Apache not leaving the door open for Tyre Slayer to sling one up the inside either. Nowhere for Tyre Slayer to go. Apache having a quick look up the inside of Pilgrim. Gets the job done. Pilgrim takes an awful shortcut there. I'm not sure if that was just avoiding contact with Apache. But Apache through. Tyre Slayer now second. Pilgrim third. Top three then pulled a massive great gap from everybody else on circuit. Tyre Slayer closing up on Apache up the Ascari. Is he going to make a move? Apache's going to make him run around the outside here. Tyre slow sideways through there, hangs onto it, but gets himself through into first position. Another great move on circuit in the GT3s. Tyre Slayer now leads then. Apache second, Pilgrim third. Absolutely neck and neck up this back straight up towards Parabolica. Great overtakes happening into turn one. There we go, top three then. Start lap 6. Ricky J in fourth. He's now managed to pull a massive great gap. I think Dodger's got it wrong somewhere. Ricky J 14 seconds behind Pilgrim in third, but he's 13, nearly 14 seconds ahead of Raffo in fifth. Not sure if Raffo's put it backwards again. He has managed to get past Dodger. I think Dodger's been backwards as well. He's running wide through Parabolica. So he's another 7 seconds back from Raffo at the back of the GT3s, unfortunately for Dodger. So the three are right close together, and the back three in the GT3s are very spread out. There is Rob S. The first of the GT4s, not that far behind either. 6.4 behind Dodger. And pulled a great big chunk of time over Mocking Weeks. That gap stretched up to 3.7 seconds. Obi in ninth. Stretched a bit of a gap out as well between himself and these two, Don and Manny. Manny's found his horn again. Now towards turn one then. Manny has a little look up the inside. Brakes. Don holds on to it. Still got that penalty to lose as well, Manny. Marshall still not too far off. 2.3, 2.1 seconds back. We'll close up on Manny when he loses that penalty, as long as he can keep the pace up. Tyre Slayer then up front has found a little bit of time. 1.2 seconds, nearly 1.3 over Apache. Pilgrim as well dropped out. I should have held on, carried on watching the top three, shouldn't I? Sounds like it was all kicking off. 10.3 seconds back now for Pilgrim. Unless he's just got one of the chicanes a bit wrong. Ricky J then 6 seconds down from Pilgrim now. Raffo closing that gap up. He's taken 3 seconds out of Ricky J's time, but he is running out of laps with lap 13. Sorry, not lap 13, minute 13 of this 20-minute lap race. Can't get me flipping words out today. Let's go and see where Tyre Slayer is. So he's not managed to disappear quite yet. Still 1.2 seconds between himself and Apache. A little bit more wear on Tyre Slayer's tyres than there is on the Porsche. The rear's a little bit more worn than Apache's than the old Tyre Slayers. His front's less so. And he is bringing that time back down. It is 1.4 seconds now between himself and Tyre Slayer. Oh no, sorry, it's gone up. It was 1.2. Lonely race now, 11.2 seconds back from Apache. Still got almost 7 seconds over over Ricky. Rafo's taken another second or two out of Ricky's time. But he's only got 5.5 minutes left to try and close that gap up. Well ahead of Dodger now. Dodger's managed to pull that gap between himself and Rob S again. Back up to 11.5 seconds. There is Mockin trying to close that gap up on Rob S. 3.5 seconds down, unfortunately. Obi another 6.3 back. Oh, Don's in the wall. Manny goes through. Marshall goes through. Don's just getting himself back up to speed. He's got front end damage. It'll have to repair itself as well. And he puts himself at the back of the pack. Damage will repair, but it's going to take a little while. Tyre Slayer in the meantime up front finds another 3/10 over Apache, and a little purple sector there as well. Just got fastest lap, 1:48.7. He was already holding that one actually. Finding a bit more time actually, Tyre Slayer. I did see 1.9 on the timer then. It's come back down to about 1.8. Tyre Slayer, another purple sector, looking for another fastest lap here maybe. Tyre Slayer just needs to keep that thing planted. Doesn't want to give Apache any opportunity to take that position off him. Not through a silly mistake anyway. Gap stretches even further, 2.2 seconds. Apache maybe still struggling with the rear end of the Porsche a tiny little bit on some of these chicanes. Still 14 seconds down. Ricky J still 6.5 seconds down. Rafo still 10 seconds down. Dodger another 18.8 back. And then back to the GT4s. Rob S still stretching his lead over Mocking Weeks as well. That's up to 4.8 seconds. Field's pretty much spread out now, I think. It's one of the closest gaps, 3 seconds between Marshall and Manny. Don we saw ploughed into a wall. He picked up some front end damage. He's 8.5 seconds behind Marshall. Only 2.5 minutes left on the clock as well. Is the closest battle for first at the minute, but there's still 2.5 seconds between them. He's liking his little purple sectors, isn't he, Mr. Tyre Slayer? Quite able to get that fastest lap. Last lap, 1:48.818 was the previous lap. It's only 19 thousandths slower than his previous fastest. Let's see what he's got as he comes up to the line. We did see purple sectors, we'll see. Oh, it's not quite, 1:48.3. Gap between himself and Apache stretches open a little bit more. It's now 3.2 seconds. Porsche driver hasn't got anything then at the end of this race. He managed to get out front and pull a bit of a lead as well, Apache, but the drivers behind him managed to close up and catch him. They are catching up on some of the back markers here as well. They're going to have to be careful. GT4s usually see that the GT3s are coming and make enough room for them to get through. Still no mistakes then for Tyre Slayer. Is he going to see another lap here? No, I don't think he is. He might. Oh, Apache! Apache's properly thrown it in the bin now. Where's Pilgrim? Just coming round. Degner too. You'll see him in the background any second. There he is, Pilgrim. He will be overjoyed with that. But it is going to be a run to the line though. Pilgrim bringing that time down pretty quickly. Is 3 seconds and falling. Apache's still holding that little bit of front end damage as well. So it's going to be slowing him down up this back straight. But I don't think Pilgrim's going to have enough pace to catch up 2.5 seconds. They've only got this straight in the corner to go. Tyre Slayer is going to come up and take the win in race 1 though. Blim, there he goes. Apache is going to hang on to second as well. That damage repaired itself then. He's having a wiggle up to the line. Comes home in second position then in the GT3s. Pilgrim's going to take third. Ricky J is going to take fourth. No idea what happened to Raffo. Like I say, I'm sure he probably got it wrong in one of the chicanes. Ricky J won't care about that. He'll be happy with that number 4 next to his name and the extra points. Raffo then up to the line. He will take 5th. Backwards. Dodger up to Parabolica. It's going to be 6th in the GT3 class then. Already seen Don cross the line, so we won't see him, I don't think. Rob S will be the first of the GT4s then. Through Parabolica he goes. Again, got another race coming up after this one. We've got a reverse grid race. Same track, same setup, just reverse grid. Up to the line then for Rob S. He takes 7th overall, but first in the GT4s. Wheat comes home second in that class. Obi-Wan takes 3rd. Manny up to the line. He's going to be 4th in the GT class, 10th overall in race 1. We've already had Marshall and Don cross the line in 11th and 12th. There he is, Manny found his horn. Does sound like a proper old school Nissan Japanese horn though as well, doesn't it? There we go. Let's have a look at official results then. Tyre Slayer taking that win. Apache 2nd, Pilgrim 3rd, Ricky J in 4th, Raffo 5th, Dodger in 6th, Rob S in 7th, Mocking Weeks in 8th, Obi-Wan 9th, Manny in 10th, Marshall in 11th, and Don in 12th. Like Marshall and Obi-Wan had some coming together maybe. So a few minutes to wait before race 2. That starts at 21:55. 6 minutes. Go make yourself a cup of coffee or something. Maybe a bit late for coffee. 10 to 10. Right, now we're going to see some chaos. You're just going to see people doing donuts and smashing into each other now. Well, I thought we were. Very sensible. What's going on? Yeah, some good racing at the start of that one. It was a shame the fields broke up a little bit. The top three were having a real good battle. And then all of a sudden the top three weren't having a real good battle. Pilgrim was way, way back. Well, you're all being very sedate, gentlemen. Very sedate. Not sure what's happening. Has team manager been in and had a word? Calm it down in the race break, lads. Maybe. I doubt very much that's happened. I'm sure in a few minutes, a few seconds, there'll be cars going all sorts of different directions. Very respectable at the minute. Don't forget to hit that like button, people. And there's not many of you, but it all helps. For starters, well, Manny's not even in the room yet. Oh yes he is. Why is he not driving around track, peeping his horn and burning tyres out? What's going on? Every race this season he's found his horn and been for a blast and tried to T-bone people. For some reason this race, this mid-race break, everyone being very calm and collected. No one donutting. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Rob S. Then he's going to be the first of the chaotic mayhem. We've only got a couple of minutes left though, so maybe we're not going to see chaos and mayhem. Very respectable gentleman. Yeah, if you notice, you just watch Rob S come around those corners. He's just got that little bit of a sideways jump going on, a little tiny sideways hop. It's just down to the lobbies. They're not quite super perfect strong. Don't know what's going on. A couple of drives out on track now. Still, everybody being respectable. Yes, Obi. Yes, Obi. That's what I'm talking about. Stick it in the wall. 3-second penalty for crossing the pit lane as well. I'm unimpressed with the shenanigans, boys. Here we go. Tyre Slayer. No. Oh, he's gone deep. There we go, Manny. There we go. There we go. Just pinned Obi-Wan. Good and proper. You won't burn your tyres out on the grass, that's for sure. Expected. A little bit of chaos and mayhem. But here we go. Race 2 about to start, then reverse grid. Dodger is going to lead us round. He starts off the GT3s, the GT4s and reverse grid, but at the back of the field. Another 20 minutes then here at Monza. Let's see what happens off the line. The lights go out, they all get a good start. Looks like Raffo's got us Ricky J driving on the grass to go for the lead. I don't think he's going to beat Raffo, but he might slot himself into second. Pilgrim having a damn good battle as well. 3 wide into turn 1. Ricky J round the outside at turn 1. Great move. We've got cars backwards. We'll go and have a look at those. Ricky J then into the lead. Raffo second. Pilgrim third. Tyre Slayer fourth. Marshall fifth. Not sure how you got into fifth, Marshall, but you're there. 6 now. I think Apache got it wrong at the chicane. He ended up way back, sitting in 5th. Marshall 6th. Don 7th. Obi-Wan in 8th. Rob S in 9th. Mocking Weeks 10th. Dodger in the Porsche in 11th. Not having a good start. 12th for Manny. What have we got? Oh! Tyre Slayer. Why are you pulled over? Oh, I wonder if Tyre Slayer and Dodger had a bit of a coming together. So Tyre Slayer's done the right thing. He's pulled over. Slowed himself right down and given Dodger that position back. Unfortunately, that's screwed both of their races up because they are now in the midst of the GT4 class field as well. Weeks found himself half a second penalty. Let's get ourselves up the front. Ricky J still leading this one. Pilgrim right behind him though as they hit this back straight, closing up on him already. Maybe run around the outside here, Pilgrim. Side by side as they hit Parabolica, but it is Ricky J that's just going to hold the lead on the way in. Mustang then under threat here for first by Pilgrim. Closes up under the slipstream. He's going to sling one up the inside into turn 1. He's carrying the speed. Hard on the brakes. Has changed that view up. Where has Ricky J still? Held his nose down the inside there. Keeps that first position. Apache. That little mistake from Pilgrim has cost him second position as well. Apache gets his way through. Pilgrim coming back at him though, down towards the second of the chicanes. Again, we've seen chaos at these chicanes. Oof, a little bit of contact between those two. Top 3 then pulled a bit of a gap. Raffo in 4th, under threat here. All sorts of drivers having a look. Obi-Wan, Don and Tyre Slayer. Tyre Slayer in the GT3 looking for a way past the GT4s. Gets his way past before they get to Lesmo 1, so through into 5th then. Dodger behind him just getting through. He's the last of the GT3s. Up into 6th. Obi-Wan leading the GT4 class then. 7th position. Got Don right behind him, got Rob S right behind him as well. Marshall a little way back, 2.7 seconds. Got Mocking Weeks for company. He's got a penalty, he's got a drop as well. Manny trying to get onto the back end of this fight. 1.4 seconds back at the minute. Ricky J still leading up front. Mustang holding its own against the Porsche and the Mercedes. Holding at half a second as they come down the straight. 2 drivers behind, close up, under braking. Be good through here. There we go. Good exit as well for Ricky J. Porsche keeps himself right in touch though, still half a second. Towards this chicane then. J over to the racing line. Apache finds a 10th on him. Pulls that back though, coming through the second of the chicanes. Feathering the throttle through Lesmo 1 down into Lesmo 2. Still keeping about half a second over Apache. A little bit deep through there. That's allowed Apache to come storming through there onto the Ascari straight. Pilgrim getting a good exit as well. Ricky J holding his own though. Actually got the legs over the Porsche a little bit. Into the Ascara chicane then. And again holds that lead. Great bit of driving from Ricky J. Oh, he's had to back off the throttle on the way out of there. That's cost him. Again, Apache closes up, dragging Pilgrim with him. That tiny little mistake. Is Apache going to be able to get this position off of Ricky J before Parabolica? Oh, side by side through there. I think Ricky J had the option to shut the door. Has Pilgrim managed to find a way through? No, he hasn't. Apache back into the lead. Ricky J coming back at Apache now though. Closes up. It's all about the braking into turn one. Again, Ricky J's been able to hold his nose around the outside here. Not this time, unfortunately. Apache goes through and holds onto it. Pilgrim keeps himself right there as well. Great battle up front at the minute. Top 3, 8. Second, 9 seconds ahead of Raffo. Raffo under pressure though. Tyre Slayer right behind him. Dodger in the Porsche another 4.7 seconds back. He's had a bit of a tough time to try and get through the GT4s. Tyre Slayer looking for that 4th position off of Raffo though. There is Dodger just coming through. Oh, you might pick up a penalty for that one. Has he got away with that? Got away with that. Rob S then leads the GT4s, gets a wheel on the gravel through there. That's going to slow him down a tiny little bit. Mocking Weeks chasing him down 3.2 seconds back. This is how it was in race 1 as well. Obi-Wan in 9th, Manny in 10th, Marshall 11th. And Don looking to close up another 4.6 behind him in 12th. Pilgrim then, using the power of the Mercedes, got himself past Apache. Real good battle up front. Apache second now. Ricky J still hanging in there in 3rd. Just half a second back himself. Great results for him if he can finish here. 4th in race 1, 3rd in race 2. We have still got 12.5 minutes left of racing, but it's kicking off for the lead again. Looks like Pilgrim's got to hold on to it into turn 1. Apache's not close enough to sling one up the inside. Great corner there for Ricky J. Gets himself alongside Apache on the exit there. Can't quite shut the door. Now he can. Gets himself back into 2nd then, Ricky J. Driving the Mustang well tonight. Again, Apache had another little look there. Oh, sideways for Ricky J. To gather it back up. It's lost them a lot of time in that battle between themselves and Pilgrim up front. Oh no, Ricky J trying to go a little bit too defensive and he's messed himself up unfortunately. Oh, got the other GT3 drivers closing up on him now as well. Ricky, what a shame. Now 3 seconds behind Apache and just 1.8 seconds ahead of Tyre Slayer. Raffo right there with him, just 0.7 of a second back. Under threat then, Ricky J for that 3rd now. Dodger 10 seconds down in the GT3 Porsche. Final of the GT3 runners. We jump to Rob S leading the GT4s. Still holding his own. Mocking Weeks not able to close that gap back up. Obi-Wan another 3.8 behind him. Manny 1.5 seconds behind him. Marshall's another 7.5 seconds back. And Don is still 5.5 seconds back. GT4 class spread right out now then. The GT3s have all split now. So Apache 4.7 seconds behind Pilgrim. Ricky J 2.7 behind Apache. He's got Tyre Slayer and Raffo closing up on him rapidly. Oh, Ricky J's got turn 1 all wrong. Drops himself into 5th. What a shame. into turn 1. Yeah, taking his time a lot more than some of these other drivers through there, but gets it cleanly. 11.2 behind Ricky now. Raffo gets a bit of a wobble on. They are both closing up on Apache as well. Apache's got himself half a second penalty he's got to lose. But Pilgrim is stomping his way up this circuit. 6.7 seconds. 10.5 minutes into this race. Apache's got to lose this penalty. He's got 1.7 seconds over Tyre Slayer. That's going to literally put him under his rear wing by the time he's lost that penalty. Oh, he's gained a little bit more as well. 1.4 seconds. Apache might end up losing this position. So coming up to the the penalty loss marks now. Gets himself back up to speed, but look, Tyre Slayer already pulls out. Looking for the overtake around the outside. Apache holds that inside line. Can he hang on to this second place? Tyre Slayer, told you, bring him right under his rear wing, and it has done. Tyre Slayer looking to get her up the inside on the exit. They are side by side. Look behind you, will you? Tyre Slayer gets himself through just. Raffo looking for a way past. Ooh. She gets a little wobble on. Tyre Slayer gets a great exit through there. Now what's going to happen in this battle? 8.4 seconds behind race leader Pilgrim. Apache goes a little bit deep in there. Raffo follows him through. Oh, he's got it almost backwards. Apache gathers it up, but he's going to lose that position to Raffo. That's dropped the pair of them back. Look at the gap now between themselves and Tyre Slayer. We are on board with Tyre Slayer. Raffo now 2 seconds behind and under threat from Apache. But what can Tyre Slayer do? He's got just under 8 minutes left. He's got 8.4 seconds to try and close up on Pilgrim. But there he is. Sorry, there he is. He's having an absolute stormer at the minute. 8.3 seconds up the road, 7.5 minutes remaining. Stomping it. Lost a bit of that lead though. Tyre Slayer found something somewhere. Slowly running out of time. Raffo through into third then. Apache falling off the back of him a little bit as well. 1.1 seconds the gap between those two. Just outside the slipstream range at the minute for Apache. Ricky J did well in the Mustang. Managed to get himself up front off the grid. Drove around the outside of many drivers through this very corner. Unfortunately, he's ended up binning it a couple of times. Dropped him down to 5th, but yeah, he was leading for a few laps and then sort of fell off a little bit, managed to hold on to 2nd and then was under threat from Apache and Raffo. Fortunately binned it while he was under that pressure. Now 5th. Dodger 12.6 behind in the GT3 Porsche. Again, not the fastest driver, Dodger, but very consistent. He turns up week after week. Stays racing regardless of his positions, which is good. Rob Esten, way out front in the GT4s. 8 seconds, 8.2 over Mocking Weeks. He's got a couple of drivers closing up. 3.1 behind him to Obi-Wan. Manny's right there with him. Another 9 seconds back to Marshall in the GT4 Mustang. Don still about 6 seconds back in the Porsche. Still stomping it here then, Pilgrim. 8 seconds as he crosses the line. 5 minutes remaining. Tyre Slayer trying anything he can, but Pilgrim seems to have the pace tonight. Raffo third, Apache's closed that gap up a little bit. He's back within slipstream range. Gains a 10th on Raffo through there as well. Help him out on those longer straights, that's for sure. Gap down to 0.7 of a second. Apache closing up on Raffo then for this third. Well out of the fight for second or first now, unfortunately, without mistakes from those two drivers in front. Loses that time back through there, Apache. Rear end of the Porsche, just struggling on some of these corners, I think. Rob S now 9.5 second lead over Mockin. Obi 9th, Manny right behind him in 10th. Marshall still 11th. And Don still not been able to close that gap up. 5.6 back still in the Porsche. Okay, so Pilgrim's lost half a second. Again, that's not enough for Tyre Slayer to catch him up before the end of the race. Pilgrim just backing off a little bit on some of these corners. Doesn't need to go full race pace into them. He's losing a little bit of time to Tyre Slayer behind him. The gap at 6.4 now, but again, Pilgrim doesn't have to go absolute full race pace with that gap. He's got 3 minutes left to race. It's going to put him at about 2 laps, I think, including this one. Raffo then holds this third, but Apache is still just within reaching distance. A little purple sector from him there as well. Loses it. Just catching that curb on the way through that second chicane is costing him 1/10 of a second. So it was at 0.9, it's now at 0.4 with that little bump on these sausage curbs. Ricky J 5th, falls a little bit further back, 7 seconds now. Well out of harm's way of Dodger behind him. 20 seconds back for Dodger. Rob S as well, under no threat from behind, nearly 10 seconds lead he's got over Mockin Weeks. Mockin Weeks is being closed up by Obi. Manny's fallen off the back of Obi a little bit. Still about the same gap between Obi and Mockin as there is between Manny and Obi. 0.6, 1.7 seconds. Marshall then still hold. Only just holds 11th. He's going to be running a bit slow. Don's going to be able to close up on him unless he's made a little mistake as well. 4 seconds the gap between those two. 1.5 minutes remaining. Pilgrim's made a massive great mistake somewhere. So what is the time? 1 minute left. This is going to be final lap then. Pilgrim has made a massive great mistake. He's dropped that time from about the 6 seconds he had, 6.5, down to 1.6 seconds, and that is falling as well between himself and Tyre Slayer. Just done a fastest lap as well, Tyre Slayer, 1:48.5. Still 1.4 between himself and race leader. Lesmo 2 cleanly for Pilgrim. Gains a 10th or 2 back on Tyre Slayer. The Ascari straight then towards the Ascari chicane. Gets that time up to 1.9 seconds. Finds a little bit more breathing room between himself and Tyre Slayer. Cleanly through there. Tyre Slayer not so cleanly through there. He picks up the AstroTurf, sticks it backwards into the wall. Gets it pointing in the right direction, but Raffo coming up rapidly on him, and Apache. Oh, has he lost that podium spot? Apache's got past him as well. He has, but it is going to be Pilgrim up to the line. He gains that 6.5 second lead back, so he takes the win in race 2. Raffo's going to come home for second in race 2. Apache takes the Tyre Slayer right at the end, slings it in the second to last corner right into the wall. Comes home in 4th. Ricky J is going to take 5th position. The Dodger 6th. In the GT4s, sorry, the GT3s. 6 overall. To the line for Dodger. Definitely getting better, Dodger. So 6th position for him. Rob S then up this back straight, leading the GT4 class tonight. He stomped both races as Rob S. I think it's pretty much been this order all night for the GT4s. Rob S then taking the win in the GT4 class for the 2nd time tonight. Mocking Weeks taking 2nd for the 2nd time tonight in the GT4s. Backwards across the line as well. Manny's found his horn. He comes home in 9th. He's got himself past Obi-Wan, who comes home in 10th. We have already had Marshall cross the line. Oh, no Don. Not sure what happened to Don, but there he is. Oh, there he was. Race leader, race winner, Pilgrim. There he is. Deserved win as well. It was looking good for Tyre Slayer. He was piling that pressure on right at the end. Unfortunately, just binned it on that very last corner. Or 2nd to last corner. It was a shame. And then lost that 2nd position and dropped himself to 4th. It's a shame. So that's it for tonight. What have we got coming up? Nothing on Wednesday. We've got the mid-season break for the Team Oliver Racing GT3 League, so nothing happening Wednesday. Back on Friday night, 9 o'clock for the next round of the GTTCC, and then 9 o'clock again for the following round of this, the Multi Class League, hosted by P1RC. But yes, great racing tonight. That's about it from me. I hope you've all liked what you've watched. If you have, make sure you click those like buttons. Subscribe if you haven't. Share it out. Tell your mates. Tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.